The American financial system is rigged. And I was very intentional with picking that word rigged instead of broken because it's not broken. Not at all. It's working just as it should. And I'm going to explain that with one slide right here from Investopedia. And we're going to look at this first line. Consumer spending consistently accounts for about 70% of the U.S. economy. That's how the U.S. economy is built. It's built around consumer spending. So what does that mean? That means money that you spend, money that I spend on things like housing, on transportation, on healthcare, on going out to eat, just goods and services in general. 70% of our economy is built around that. So if you think about it that way and you realize right off the bat, just with that slide, right, just knowing that fact, you realize that it's not in our economy's best interest if we as individuals stop spending our money on things we don't need. If we start saving our money and investing our money, that actually can hurt the economy because we're not spending it. I think that explains it right away. So like I said, it's not broken. It's rigged. It's built that way. And if we think about it, if we think all the way back, for me, it's all the way back. I don't know how old you are, but for me, it's all the way back to being in school. You know, I get a refresher of this because I have kids that are school aged. But if we look at the things that we learned and the things that our kids learn, my son knows the Pythagorean theorem and how to find the area of a triangle. He knows these things. But who cares? He's never going to use that, ever. But that's what he's taught in school. Does he know what an index fund is? An ETF? Does he know how much money he should put away if he wants a healthy retirement when he's older? Does he know how to balance the checkbook? Honestly, I don't think people do that anymore. So disregard the checkbook. That's going back a ways. But my point is, where is his financial literacy? Where is that taught in school? And the answer is it's not. He does know some of those things because I talk to him. Whether he listens or not is another story. But my point is, it's not taught in school. The other stuff is taught in school that you're not going to use again. I mean, I guess there's a small likelihood you could be like an engineer, right? So you use the math. But for the most part, you're not going to use most of that stuff. And I have a tough time, honestly, when he asks me, Dad, why am I learning this? I'm not going to ever use it. Really, the only rebuttal I can give is that, you know, it's not about the subject matter. It's about the journey of going through it. It's difficult. This is teaching you resilience. Like, how do you buckle down and get through something that's difficult? That's the lesson. But really, that's the only argument I have for that. So if we know that we live in a consumer economy, does that mean, first off, let's answer the question, does that mean there's no hope? Does that mean there's no way to build wealth? Does that mean there's no way to do better with our finances? And the answer to that is absolutely not. There's absolutely a way. America is still one of the best places in the world with the most opportunities to build wealth and to do better for yourself. But, right, caveat, I need to add this in. It's completely up to you. It really is. For us, it was completely up to us. You have to make the decision. You have to take the initiative to go learn, to go invest in learning anything you can about finances. And the positive part, especially nowadays, is that there's no shortage of it, right? You don't even have to go to a library anymore. Everything is online. You can go to the library and get a book, you know, but you can go to Audible. You can download it. You can be on YouTube. There's plenty of ways to learn. And if I can go back, right, we bought our house, our first house, which was a rental property, by the way. We did not own a house before that. The first house we bought was a rental property. And we bought that, 4 years ago? Right about 4 years ago. I had no experience whatsoever in buying a rental, in buying a house for that matter, or in doing renovations. And I'm not going to blow it up like it was a huge renovation, but it was quite a bit, right? It was tearing down cabinets, replacing toilets, stuff like that, which for me was a lot. I had no idea how to do it. But my wife and I were able to learn. We watched YouTube, read books, mostly YouTube, I would say, some DIY channels on how to do it. And we were able to do it. And it's a successful rental property. We invest in stocks heavily. We have specific baskets, specific funds with specific tasks that we put our money into, with specific stocks. We learned all of that by reading and by watching videos. So we took the initiative to do that. So that's the way out. And going further into that, I would say that, and leave me a comment on this because I'm super curious. I can't think of people. Let me know if you can name any rich people that didn't do one of three things. They didn't start a business or buy a business. They didn't invest in stocks, and they didn't invest in real estate. Those three things. And let's not, we're going to take out like famous people, athletes and singers and stuff. Those are one-offs. That's how they get rich, on those three things, but they had to educate themselves. They had to get educated on it. So there is hope. It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely doable. The point of the video is just that most people never become aware of it. It's not taught in your mainstream education, so you're none the wiser to it. Even if your salary jumps, right? Even if your salary goes up, over 50% of Americans still can't afford a $1,000 emergency. It doesn't matter if they're making six figures. It doesn't matter if they're making $50,000 a year. They have the same problem. They can't afford a $1,000 emergency because they don't know how to properly allocate the money. They haven't been taught. So the takeaway here is go learn, invest in yourself, invest in your education, and then invest your money. The only person that's going to take care of you when you're 65, 70 is the version of you that's alive right now. I want to be old and healthy. I want to be old and not have to rely on someone else to take care of me. I want to have my finances squared away. I don't want to have to still be working if I'm in my 70s. I want to have a nice, comfortable retirement because the 40-year-old self took good care of me. If that's what you want as well, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I'll see you next week.